Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In continuation to our Linux tutorial series, today we would be talking about the shells in Linux and learn few basic commands. So this is what we are going to cover today. What is a shell, types of shell, basic commands and man command. First, what is a shell? A shell is a program which acts as an interpreter between the kernel and the user. A quick recap on kernel. Kernel is the core interface between the hardware and the software. So it controls all the computer operations and coordinates all the executing utilities. An OS starts a shell for each user when the user logs in or opens a terminal or console window. It's an environment which helps user execute various tasks and view its results on screen. By interfacing with a kernel, a shell also provides a way for a user to execute utilities and program. So shell can also be defined as a command interpreter. Types of shell. Shells are important part of any Linux user session. We are provided with various different types of shells in Linux to accomplish this task. Basically, each shell has its own unique feature. Hence, there are many instances where when one shell is better than the other for specific requirements. Let's take a look at various types of shells we have in Linux. First is the Bourne shell, which is also known as an SH shell. So it was developed at AT&T Bell Labs by Steve Bourne, and it is also regarded as the first Unix shell ever. It is the preferred shell for shell programming because of its compactness and speed. A Bourne shell's drawback is that it lacks features for interactive use such as the ability to recall the previous commands. The full path to use the shell is bin sh and sbin/sh. The born again shell. The born again shell is popularly known as a bash shell. The GNU born again is designed to become compatible with the Bourne shell. It also incorporates useful features from Korn and C shells. It also has arrow keys that are automatically mapped for command recall and editing as well. The command path for this shell is /bin/bash. Next is the C shell, which is also known as CSH shell. It's a Unix enhancement written by Bill Joy at the University of California, Berkeley. It incorporates features for interactive use, such as use of aliases and command history. It also includes convenient programming features such as built-in arithmetic and a C-like expression syntax. The command path is /bin/csh. Next is the Korn shell. The Korn shell was written by David Korn at AT&T Bell Labs and is a superset of a Bourne shell. It supports everything that is supported in the Bourne shell, has interactive features comparable to those in the C shell as well. It includes convenient programming features like built-in arithmetic and C-like arrays, function, and string manipulation facilities as well. The command path is bin/bin/ksh. Basic commands. So these are the basic commands those you guys are going to use almost daily when working on a Linux platform. We would also be covering some basic examples for this command. Basically, we would be executing some commands on the Linux terminal to see how that works. So first is the ls command. It is a command to list files and directories. Then mkdir command, basically make dir command, command to create directories. Rm command is to delete files and directories. Now we also have another command known as rmdir, which is specific to delete delete the directories. So we would cover only the rm part of it, basically the rm command. cd command is used to navigate between directories, cp command to copy files and directories, mv command to move the files and directories, pwd command to check the present working directory, and touch command to create the empty files and also update the timestamp. So let's do some practical. First is the ls command. Ls is to list the files and directories. So I've created this test directory for the practical purpose. So if I execute, let me just relog in. Okay. So this would only list the files and directories of that present in that directory. Okay. Now few options. ls-r, it would display the files and directories in the reverse order, and then we have ls-capital R. With this, I would like to reiterate here that commands or Linux are commands on Linux are case sensitive. So basically, if the command option is a small r and a capital R, right? So both would have different execution. So you'll have to be very careful when executing commands on Linux. So capital R would display in recursive order. So for example, say I do ls, I have a directory as n1. You would see n1 has another directory and it has another directory as well. So what I would do, if I execute capital R and say n1, it would give me the list of all the directories present in that directory. ls-l is to list the directory, basically in the list format. So it will give you all the details, the permission, the owner, the size, the timestamp, and when it was created, what was the last not when it was created, basically a timestamp when it was last modified. Okay. Then ls-lh would display in human readable format. So if you see, we have a file in 2766 bytes here, it would show in the human readable format here. Okay. And then we have ls-la. A is used for hidden files. So in Linux, you can create a hidden file by appending dot at the start of the command. So if I say touch hidden, so touch would create empty files. And if you see ls-la, you will see a dot hidden file. Okay. Now if I remove -a from here, uh, the hidden file is not displayed here. Okay. Next is mkdir. So basically mkdir is to create directories. So if I say mkdir dir1, it would create a directory name as dir1. And you can create multiple directories by separated by a space, say dir2, dir3, and you will see all those directories are created. So if I want to create, say, a recursive directory, for example, I want to create, say, R1, and inside that R2, inside that R3, it will give me an error saying that, R1 or basically no such file or directory exists. So it starts with R1. So if I want to create a recursive directory, I would use option -p. So mkdir-p would create all the directories in it. So ls-r, r1 would show you r1 has r2, r1, r2 has r3, and then we have r3 at this place. Okay. Then the other option to use with this -v, which is actually verbose mode. So it would give you the details on the screen itself, say dir 10. So it gave you mkdir created directory this. Okay. Now if I don't use, you must have noticed that it okay it also gives an error. It basically does a validation. All the basic validations are in place for these commands, whether you are copying or creating a directory or a file, to check whether the file exists or not. Okay. Now directory 12. So here I didn't use -v, and it did not print any message for this. Next is the rm command. You need to be very careful when using rm command. Okay, so rm command is a command to delete files and directories. So I have created few files and directories for our testing purpose, so we could use them for the rm command. So if I say rm hyphen, so we'll create we'll delete an empty file, rm hyphen d3. You'll notice it's asking for the confirmation. Okay, so if I say yes, it will delete it. If I say n, it will not delete it. Now if I use another option, say -f, and I delete this file, say d2, it will delete it. F is deleting it forcefully. It won't ask for the confirmation. Similarly is for directory. Now for directory, we also need to use another option with rm command. For example, if I say rm say r1, it would not delete a directory. It will say cannot remove directory uh, because it's a directory. Basically rm command, I mean, if we deleted a file, it would ask for a confirmation, but that is not the case for the directory. We have to use different options with rmr. Okay, now if I use hyphen r is recursively delete the directory and the subdirectories under it. So it will ask for confirmation, say yes. It will ask confirmation for all the subdirectories in that directory. Okay. Now, if you want to delete the directories forcefully without any confirmation, for example, I have another directory which has multiple directories in it. So for this, we could use rm hyphen rf and say n1. So it would delete all the directories recursively without asking for any confirmation. So it has been deleted. Next command is the cd command. Okay. So cd is basically the change directory. It's pretty common command between Linux and Windows user as well. So whatever directory you want to go into, you would just cd into it. For example, I want to go to, say, a home directory. Okay, and do ls. So it would take me to the home directory. Now you are not aware, or you don't know in which directory you are. You would use pwd. Pwd is present working directory. So it will just tell you where you are on that system. Okay. Now if you want to navigate to the user's home directory, whosoever you are logged in as, you would do cd and the tilde sign. So it would take you to the directory of that user. For example, I'm logged in as a root on the system, so it's showing me as a root directory. And if I want to, say, go into some other directory, so I would just say opc, basically other users home directory. I would use tilde and the username. So it would take me to that user's home directory. You can also use cd hyphen dot dot to go to the previous directory. Basically one directory down, one level down. You could also use cd space hyphen, which would take you to the previous directory. So whatever previous directory you were in, this command would take you to that directory. And then cd dot. So basically dot is your current directory and dot dot is the previous directory. So for example, say if I go into say usr lib gcc, right? I mean, I'm going into multiple directories, so you could go this way. And if I do ls, we have this folder. Now if I want to navigate back to, say two directories back, I want to go two directories back, I would do cd dot dot slash dot dot. It would take me to the usr directory. Okay. Next command is the cp command. Cp command is used for copying files and directories. So let's go to our directories where we have the files. For example, I've created few files here. So say D1, right? So if I say cp D1 to D2, it would copy, it would create two copies. Basically, it would copy D1 to D2. Okay. So if I want to, copy the directory. So for copying directory, I have to use a couple of more options. For example, if I say copy n2 to n3, it would give me an error saying it's omitting the directory. So I have to use R. R is recursive. So it would copy n2 to n3, and you will see n3 directory is created here. Okay. Now, if you want to copy, say, multiple files in a particular directory, for example, D1 and D2, I want to copy it to D3, sorry, N3. It would, this would do the trick. And if you want to copy it into another directory under the N3 directory, you would also do, say, you can specify the full path of that directory. Regular expressions. So if So CP also supports regular expression. Regular expressions, I mean, the basic one is star, like matching all the name starting from this particular alphabet or number. It would do that. For example, say release ls d star. It would list everything starting from D. Now, if we want to copy, say D star, just check what it does. Okay, so it is giving me a warning to rewrite the file. I would say yes. For the next file, I would say no. And then it omitted the other directory because D star, it consider everything, dir, d1, d2, and whatever started with D. Since we did not give any option with cp, it omitted the directories. uh, so if I want to copy a directory, say cp dir. Okay, so dir 1. Now even 1 has, say, 4 directories. I would do this cp -ra recursively copy all. So we would copy to /temp directory. Okay, now if you see, it has created a copy of these dirs in the temp one. Okay. Next is the mv command. Mv command is used to move files and folders between the various directories that we want to. For example, say let's create few blank files. Say A1, A2, A3, A4. So basically, touch command, creates a file or updates the timestamp of that file. So if I say execute this command, it would create empty files. So you see A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay. Now if I want to move a file, say a1 to a1.1, okay, so this would be the command. So source and the destination. So you'd see a1 has been moved to a1.1. Similarly, if I want to move a1-1 to say n3 directory, I would do this. So it's gone from here and it's moved to n3 directory. Okay. We could also do this for directories. So dir1, we would say dir1.1. Okay. Now let's see what happens for the recursive one, whether we need to specify any options or not. Let's test that. Okay. Now n3 has multiple directories in that. Okay. So let's try to move n3 mv n3 to say the n3.3.1. Okay, it didn't ask for basically it didn't give us the warning about the recursive one because mv considers it internally and moves everything to the new directory. Okay, uh, pwd we already covered, and then we have say touch. Now going back to the touch command, we created few files at, so this was the timestamp of a file, right? 735 you would be seeing. Now if I say touch d2, let's see what. So you see the date timestamp has been updated for the for that command. So these were some of the basic commands that you would need to practice and master over the time as you continue your work on the Linux platform. Next is the command for file management. Okay, another aspect is managing the file, since it's all UI CLI based. A lot of you would be requiring to use the terminal to view the file, to edit the file, uh, to say get few words or few common stuff from that file as well. So how do we do that? So there are some commands to take care of that. First is the cat command. So it would display the complete content of the file, and then we have a head command that displays the first 10 lines of the file, and then we have a tail command that displays the last 10 lines of the file. We have more command, so more displays the file page wise on the terminal, but it also retains all the text of the terminal. For example, if we would be covering this in our practical. Less command is to overcome the more command drawback. So basically less does not retain the text on the terminal. And then we have a grep command. Now the basic usage of grep is to filter the output of the command or search for a particular text in the file, or filter specific word from the large results. So grep is also used majorly in the shell scripting as well. So let's check how this command works. Say we'll first do the cat command. So I have already one long file. So you would see cat. So it printed all the and all the contents of that file on the terminal itself. Next we have the head command. So I created a file, this file, which is like numbering, so we could know how many numbers it printed, how many lines it printed. So head num file, it would print only the first 10 lines, and then tell num file, it would print the last 10 lines. Now there is also an option, say -n, which is numbering. Now if I want to view only the last three lines, I would do tail, so it would show me the last three lines. Similarly, we could use this for the head command as well, so first three lines. And then next we have more and the less command. So the problem with the more, right? Say if I do say more long file, you would see that it it added all the text on the screen itself. Basically, if it is a large file, say if we want to so I'll just copy paste this multiple times in that file to create a one long file. Okay, now if you see, it would print everything on the terminal. Similarly with the more command, okay, it would do this. Now using the space bar, you could navigate to the next page until the file is ended. Okay, now the drawback of the more command is that it will wipe out whatever was present on your terminal, so it would replace those contents, right? Now if I exit by pressing Q, the content would still be there, so that is taken care by the less command. Okay, for example, if I execute say a less command, less long file, you would see this file, say I navigate and I go back. So let's clear the terminal. Less long file. Now if I press Q, you would see it is coming back to this file, to the terminal without retaining the contents of that file. Okay, so that I could view the history of my terminal, or whatever was opened, or whatever the output of the previous commands were. I could check that. Okay, that was about more and less. Grep command, for example, say I would do less grep dir1. Okay, so it would print all the matching dir1 in my ls command. So ls would show me everything, and say I would do grep hyphen grep a, so a2 a3 a4. Okay, now let's see how we can do that, how we can use that for a for searching a text in a file. For example, I had a word Titanic in my long file, so we could do this. Okay, it didn't. Okay, it's case sensitive. So we would also see how to grab the case sensitive one. So if I say grep, sorry, copy. So it would print all those lines which matches that word. Okay, for example, say I want to search this word. Right, so it would show me this. Now coming back to our uh, case sensitive option, so we could also use an option -I and say Titanic. Let's see what it prints. Right, it printed everything that matched. So basically I is like in case sensitive option. So that's about grep. So these were some of the file management commands. Let's move to man command. So man command is a command to display the user manual of any command that can be executed on the terminal. So it is very helpful when you want to refer to arguments for a command which we could pass to be executed. The The information includes the command description and whatever application applicable options are, various flags, few examples, and other informative sections like who the author is and stuff like that. So uh, there are a lot of options which you could use for man, but yeah, I mean these are the basic one which could be very helpful. Okay, for example, say we would use, say we want to see man help for ls. Okay, so this would so these are the section. What is the name, what is the synopsis, what is the description, and what are the options arguments that you could use. And it has loads of options, and then at the end is author and copyright, and also what is the other information that you could look for that in this command. Okay, and then say hyphen f would display the man pages which could match the specified command name and display the various sections that this command is present in. Okay, so this command is present in say section 1 and 1p. Then we have another option, that is display all the available intro manual pages in succession. Okay, now if I say man hyphen a ls, it would show me in succession. Succession is in, if I want to quit here, okay, it would still give me an option, say man next. So next is this. So if you can see this option here, right? So it would still allow me to return and go back to that help. So say I press enter, and then I will be able to quit. And then now if I want to quit, I simply press Control C or Q, which would exit the man page. The other option is hyphen W. So it would display the location of the manual page for the given command. So say man hyphen W is, this is where all the information is coming from, right? So this could also be useful if you want to know the source of that command. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video, and do let us know in the comments if you want us to cover any specific topics in Linux, and uh, how did you like this video. Thank you. Bye.